Egypt's Grand Egyptian Museum, the largest museum for old treasures ever built, is officially opening its doors on July 3rd, 2025. If you've been waiting to plan that dream trip to Egypt, keep watching as we share everything you need to know about this huge opening and why this changes everything for travellers worldwide. After years of waiting, silence and frustration from travellers around the world, we finally got the news everyone's been wanting to hear. The chief executive, Ahmed Ghoneim, announced the museum would celebrate its official opening on the 3rd of July during a January interview on Egyptian television. This isn't just another ceremony or party, but the actual full opening of all rooms, all exhibits, and all the treasures that have been locked away from the public. For too long, millions of tourists have been stuck not knowing what to do, unable to plan their Egyptian trips because nobody would give them straight answers about when this amazing museum would finally be complete. Well, those days are over. The world's biggest museum project is finally ready to welcome visitors. And let me tell you, it's going to change everything about how we see ancient Egypt. Think about a museum so huge it covers over 5 million square feet. That's bigger than 70 soccer fields put together. The Grand Egyptian Museum isn't just another building. It's a monument to human success that houses over 100,000 ancient treasures covering 5,000 years of Egyptian history. Walking into this amazing building, the first thing you'll see is absolutely mind-blowing. A 36-foot tall, 82-ton stone statue of Ramesses II stands guard in the main entrance hall. This mighty pharaoh has been waiting at the site since 2006, and now he's finally ready to welcome visitors into what experts are calling the world's largest museum about ancient treasures focused on one civilization. The building itself is a work of art, designed by Irish architects who beat over 1,500 competitors from 82 countries. The museum features a beautiful stone and glass front, decorated with hundreds of oval shapes. Those special designs that surround Egyptian picture writing containing the names of ancient kings and queens. Even the water features outside use pyramid-shaped stones, because every detail here honours ancient Egypt's famous buildings. Here's what's going to blow your mind. For the very first time in history, all 5,000 objects found in King Tutankhamun's tomb will be shown together in one place. We're talking about the boy king's golden throne, his royal jewellery, 2 golden coffins, and that famous gold burial mask made with nearly 25 pounds of solid gold. But here's the amazing part. Many of these priceless artefacts have never been shown to the public before. When British treasure hunter Howard Carter found Tut's tomb in 1922, it was one of the few royal tombs that hadn't been stolen by ancient grave robbers. This means we're getting a complete, untouched look into ancient Egyptian royal burial ways. The museum has given 2 massive halls just for Tutankhamun's treasures. Imagine walking through rooms designed to make you feel like you're actually exploring the pharaoh's tomb. It's going to be the closest thing to time travel that any of us will ever experience. One of the most amazing features of the Grand Egyptian Museum is its huge staircase. This isn't just a way to get from one floor to another, it's a carefully designed journey through Egyptian history. As you climb the 148 steps, you'll pass dozens of statues of Egypt's most famous pharaohs and queens, each one telling part of the story of this amazing civilization. At the top of this grand staircase, you're rewarded with something absolutely breathtaking, a perfect view of the 4,600-year-old pyramids of Giza, sitting just over a mile away. The museum was specially designed so that its top level matches up perfectly with the pyramid area, creating this amazing visual connection between ancient and modern Egypt. The plan is to eventually build a walkway connecting the museum directly to the pyramids, so visitors can literally walk from the world's greatest collection of Egyptian artifacts to the world's most famous monuments. The Grand Egyptian Museum isn't just a random collection of old stuff thrown together. Everything's carefully organised around 3 main themes that defined ancient Egyptian civilization: society, kingship, and beliefs. These themes are then divided into 4 different historical periods, from prehistoric times all the way through to the Roman era. This smart organisation means you can visit the museum in different ways, depending on what interests you most. If you're interested in how ancient Egyptian society worked, you can follow one path through the rooms. If you want to understand the power and glory of the pharaohs, there's a different route focusing on kingship. And if you're curious about their religious beliefs and burial practices, you can explore that theme specifically. The rooms contain everything from thousands of years' worth of paper manuscripts to ceremonial tools and jewellery, from a 3,100-year-old wig made from real human hair to a copy of the famous Rosetta Stone. There are even royal mummies, including a mummified crocodile, because ancient Egyptians believed all kinds of animals were sacred. Here's something most people don't know about. Alongside the main museum, there's a separate building that will house two amazing royal boats found near the Great Pyramid in 1954. These aren't just any old boats, they're the famous solar boats of Pharaoh Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid. These boats were buried next to the pyramid over 4,500 years ago as part of the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. One of these boats is absolutely massive, over 140 feet long, and built entirely from Lebanese cedar wood without using a single nail. The ancient Egyptians believed their pharaoh would use these boats to travel with the sun god Ra across the heavens. The restoration and care of these boats has been one of the most challenging parts of the entire museum project. Ancient wood doesn't exactly age well over 4,500 years, so specialists have spent years carefully preserving every piece. When you see them in their new temperature-controlled home, you'll be looking at some of the oldest and most sophisticated boats ever discovered. Let's be honest about something. This project has been a rollercoaster ride of epic proportions. Construction began way back in 2005, making this a 20-year journey from start to finish. The original plan was to open much earlier, but Egypt faced some serious challenges along the way. The 2011 Arab Spring brought construction to a complete stop for 3 years during the political problems that followed. Tourist numbers dropped dramatically during this period, which meant less government money to fund the project. Then came money problems, the global pandemic, and regional conflicts that all helped push back the opening date again and again. What really frustrated travellers around the world was the complete lack of communication about what was happening. The museum's management company, despite having a full-time public relations team, was almost completely silent about progress and timelines. This left millions of potential visitors unable to plan their trips to Egypt, and it hurt the Egyptian tourism industry badly. Fortunately, Japan stepped in with considerable money and technical help from 2014 onwards, which allowed the project to move forward again. But the lack of clear communication continued right up until recently, when we finally got that direct confirmation from officials. Since October 2024, the Grand Egyptian Museum has been partially open, with visitors able to explore the 12 main galleries. This means most of the museum's main areas are open to visitors, along with the grand entrance hall, the huge staircase, shopping areas, and outdoor gardens. It's basically a preview of what's to come, designed to test the site's readiness before the full opening. During this soft opening period, visitors can explore most of the museum's amazing collection, but the two big attractions, the Tutankhamun halls and the solar boat building, remain closed. That's what makes July 3rd so important. It's not just the opening of a museum, it's the completion of one of the most ambitious cultural projects in modern history. Current ticket prices during the soft opening are 1,200 Egyptian pounds for adults, which is about $24 at current exchange rates. Children and students aged 4 to 21 pay half price, and kids under 4 get in free. You can also add a 90-minute guided tour in English or Arabic for an additional £1,700, or about $34. Here's something really important for anyone planning to visit Egypt around the opening. There's going to be a period when King Tut's treasures aren't available for viewing anywhere. Officials warn that there might be a few days when the treasures won't be on display, at either the Old Egyptian Museum downtown or at the new Grand Egyptian Museum. This is because Egypt is planning a big public parade to move the treasures from the old museum to the new one, similar to what they did a few years ago when they moved 22 royal mummies to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. These parades are a huge deal in Egypt. They're shown on television nationally and make Egyptians feel proud of their amazing heritage. While the rest of the world might not care about these ceremonies, they mean a lot to Egypt domestically. It's a chance for the country to be in the international spotlight and show off their amazing old treasures. The downside is that visitors might miss seeing these priceless artifacts if they're in Egypt during the wrong time. If you're thinking about visiting Egypt to see the fully opened Grand Egyptian Museum, timing is everything. Based on the inside information we have, here's what you need to know about planning your trip. First, avoid travelling to Egypt between June 20th and July 10th, 2025 if you possibly can. This 21-day period is going to be absolute chaos. There will be hotel shortages, price spikes, massive road closures, historic traffic jams, and you might miss seeing some artifacts during the transfer period. The worst part of this period will be from June 30th to July 5th, basically the week around July 3rd. Once the dust settles after the opening ceremonies, late July and August could actually be ideal times to visit if you can handle the heat. The crowds from the opening events will have died down, but it will still be low season when fewer tourists generally visit Egypt. Just remember, summer in Egypt is no joke. Temperatures can be absolutely brutal, especially in southern Egypt near Luxor, Aswan, and Abu Simbel. If you prefer more comfortable weather, plan your visit for the high season that runs from October through April. But here's the thing, this is going to be the first high season after the museum fully opens, which means it's going to be unusually busy. Hotels, flights, tour operators, guides and drivers are all going to get booked up well in advance. Right now, the only way to reach the Grand Egyptian Museum is by Uber, taxi, or joining a tour. There's no direct public transportation, though there are plans for a metro stop at the site in the future. From downtown Cairo, expect to pay around 120 Egyptian pounds, about $2.50, for an Uber, which is incredibly affordable. The museum complex is open every day from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m, but the rooms themselves open at 9 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. You can buy tickets online, but there's no need to. You can purchase them at the ticket booths at the entrance. Just remember, they only accept credit cards, no cash. Here's something important. Despite what you might read elsewhere, there's no limit on the number of daily visitors. The museum is vast enough to handle huge crowds without feeling overcrowded. The sound quality is excellent, so even with lots of people, it doesn't get noisy like older museums. Photography is allowed, but only with mobile phones. Professional cameras with removable lenses, tripods, lights and drones are all prohibited. The museum has excellent security screening, so don't try to sneak in professional equipment. They'll catch it and make you leave it at the security office. If this is your first time visiting Egypt, the Grand Egyptian Museum opening provides the perfect opportunity to experience the country at its best. Here are some practical tips to make the most of your visit. First, plan to spend at least a full day at the museum. With over 100,000 artifacts spread across multiple buildings and floors, you'll need time to really appreciate what you're seeing. Many visitors try to rush through in a few hours and end up feeling overwhelmed. Take your time, read the descriptions, and really absorb the experience. Consider hiring a guide for your first visit. While the museum has excellent signage and descriptions in multiple languages, a knowledgeable guide can provide context and stories that bring the artifacts to life. Many guides are archaeologists or historians who can answer questions and point out details you might otherwise miss. Dress appropriately for the visit. While the museum is climate controlled, you'll still be doing a lot of walking. Comfortable shoes are essential, and modest clothing is recommended out of respect for local customs. Bring a light jacket, as the air conditioning can be quite strong in some areas. Plan your visit around mealtimes. The museum has restaurants and cafes, but they can get crowded during peak hours. Consider eating before you arrive or bringing snacks if you plan to spend the whole day there. The museum shops also sell drinks and light refreshments. Don't try to see everything in one visit. The museum is enormous, and attempting to see every single exhibit will leave you exhausted and unable to appreciate what you're looking at. Focus on the areas that interest you most, whether that's Tutankhamun's treasures, royal mummies, or ancient Egyptian daily life. Take advantage of the museum's technology. Many exhibits have interactive displays, audio guides, and digital presentations that enhance the experience. Don't be afraid to use these tools. They're designed to make your visit more engaging and educational. While the Grand Egyptian Museum is certainly a highlight, don't forget that Egypt has so much more to offer. If you're making the trip specifically for the museum opening, consider extending your stay to explore other parts of the country. The pyramids of Giza are literally next door to the museum, so you'll definitely want to visit them as well. But Egypt has many other amazing archaeological sites. Luxor, often called the world's greatest open-air museum, is home to the Valley of the Kings, Karnak Temple, and dozens of other incredible sites. Aswan offers beautiful scenery along the Nile River and the impressive Abu Simbel temples. For a completely different experience, consider visiting Egypt's Red Sea coast. Cities like Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh offer world-class diving and snorkeling, beautiful beaches, and luxury resorts. It's a perfect way to relax after days of sightseeing and cultural immersion. Cairo itself is worth exploring beyond the museums. The Islamic Cairo district is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with hundreds of mosques, madrasas, and historic buildings. The Khan El Khalili Bazaar offers a traditional shopping experience and great street food. The Coptic Cairo area showcases Egypt's Christian heritage. Consider taking a Nile River cruise between Luxor and Aswan. These multi-day cruises stop at various temples and archaeological sites along the way, providing a relaxing way to see multiple attractions while enjoying the beautiful scenery of the Nile Valley. The Grand Egyptian Museum's opening on July 3rd, 2025, marks the end of one of the longest waits in modern tourism history. After 20 years of construction, delays, and uncertainty, we finally have a confirmed date when travellers can experience the full glory of ancient Egypt under one magnificent roof. We're committed to releasing 2 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more visionary builds.